favorite bagels are everything bagels, and we just don't have them in this country, which is crazy. Maybe I should just play the audio of me complaining about bagel types. Then it goes back to lo-fi.
Just leave that. Just go lo-fi. That is the whole thing.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel and to another kind of writing vlog. It's both a writing vlog and a not writing vlog. As I'm sure maybe you have noticed, the last two vlogs really showed just how lately things have not flowed as well as I would have liked from project to project. There are hiccups. There are always hiccups. I know it's not the worst things that could have gotten in the way, but they did, and they did kind of throw me a little bit as far as my own kind of mental health and stuff goes. So I decided that I was going to take a Saturday, which I don't normally film Saturdays, but to take a Saturday and do all the things that make me happy. So I started with some baking. I'm actually a big fan of baking. I really love cake and I really love homemade cakes. They taste the best. And it had been a really long time since I made a loaf cake. So I decided to make a blueberry and a lemon loaf cake. And yeah, it ended up being quite tasty. You'll see me eating it later in the day. Once it was cooling, out of the oven and cooling, I decided to go do my other favorite thing, which is going to a coffee shop. It was a really busy day in town because the weather was really nice, it was sunny, it was warm, and because of that, everyone and their mother was out in town. So it took me a while to find a coffee shop to settle down into, but I finally did. And yes, I'm writing. I decided to write in my fiction. I normally spend the weekdays writing nonfiction, and I try to write fiction in my early morning time period to write, or just wherever else I can fit it. So it was a Saturday. I figured I'm gonna treat myself. I pulled up my fiction that I am rewriting, my project Caramel Latte, and started working on it. After my coffee, I thought I would take a little bit of a break by looking at some charity shops for some used books, see what I can grab. I only really made it to like one of them because, you know, as I said, there were a lot of people out that day. It was very busy everywhere and it was starting to get really overwhelming, especially in very tiny charity shops. So I decided to go ahead and start heading home. But before that, I swung by and picked up a spot of lunch. And while I was waiting, a mayoral parade went by. So you got to see the Salisbury Giant, which is a historical, wonderful fixture here in Salisbury. Anyway, I was able to escape the crowds by coming home and decided to keep working on the novel. I wasn't quite feeling like I was done yet, but not at that point where you want to put it away because then you're excited about picking it up for the next session. I wanted to keep going. So I decided to keep working on it at home while I ate my lunch and drank my boba. So after lunch, decided to have a little bit of my lunch dessert, and that was eating my lovely cake and reading a book. So it was a really nice day of fiction writing, fiction reading. I ended up reading for a good 2 hours, I think, 2 or 3 hours. I kind of lost track of time. I really just sunk into it. And yeah, eating my lovely cake. I had 2 or 3 slices and having tea and had my coffee. I'm a big food person. If you couldn't tell, food really changes my mood. So having really good food really helps. I probably should get better at more regulating my emotion. Having really high swinging days like this mixed with really low days is probably not the best thing in the world to be doing. But I thought that before I tried to just have some okay days, I should probably try to outdo the kind of rough mental place that I was in by swinging completely on the opposite direction. So yeah, I ended the day on quite a high. It was a really good day and it did really pick up my mood, and I'm hoping that it means that I can go into the next writing sessions and stuff with a slightly better head on my shoulders, and gave me a little bit of space to be thinking about my nonfiction projects and maybe what I might want to be doing and how to approach them. It kind of really helps to get the brain juices flowing when you're in a state to allow your brain juices to flow. So it ended up being a pretty good day. But thank you so much for spending the day with me and having a really nice day. I hope that you do little things that make you happy. Maybe not a whole day of it if you don't have the time for it, but just small things. I should probably be better at baking more often because it is something that really makes me happy. Making more time to be reading, making more time to do small treats for myself. And also not putting the pressure on myself to have to be in a certain mood or in a certain place in order to be able to function. I think also that is a really good thing as well. So don't put too much pressure on yourself and do the things that make you happy, because life is too short to just not be happy. But thank you for being happy with me today, and I will see you next time. Bye!